最重要的，我们党就是有一个
What is
根本
most
的组织
important
制度
is our party has a fundamental organization system and fundamental leadership system. Democratic centralism is a very effective organization system and leadership system that our party has formed based on many years of practice.
组织制度和领导制度。
China has become the world's second largest economy, lifting hundreds of millions out of poverty, all under the leadership of the Communist Party of China, the CPC, the party. How did the CPC transform the country so dramatically? What is it about CPC leadership that enabled China to develop so rapidly? The CPC has ruled China since 1949. It has more than 85 million members. Why then is the party such a mystery? Whatever the reasons, the veil should be lifted. That's why the CPC is reaching out to international audiences by publishing a series of books titled Understanding the CPC. China has many challenges and outcomes will affect the entire world. The only way to grasp current conditions and anticipate future prospects is to understand what the party is and how it works. So, two questions. How does the CPC govern itself? And how does the CPC govern the country? Understanding the CPC gets us closer to China.
New World Shopping Center, Shanghai. One of the world's most prosperous metropolitan centers. More than 3 million people visit here every day. It is a window for the world to witness China's economic miracles. A stone's throw away from this fashion center stands a historical building. It is the site of the first National Congress of the Communist Party of China, the CPC. Since its opening more than 60 years ago, the two-story Shikumen building has hosted more than 1.8 million visitors. On July 23, 1921, 13 members held their first National Congress of the Communist Party of China here, marking the birth of the party. Since then, the number of Communist Party members in China has risen to more than 86 million. That's 1 in every 18 Chinese people.
The party has more than 80 million members, 86, 87 million, which is larger than most countries in the world. How is such an organization managed? What are its organizing principles?
那么中国共产党有8600万党员，但是它的组织体系是非常严密的。从组织结构来讲，它分成党的中央组织、党的地方组织、党的基层组织这么3个层次。
Yang Hongge is the vice president of the China Training Center for Senior Personnel Management Officials. It's the main center for cadres in China. In 2014, it provided training for more than 10,000 organization officials.
在这3个层次当中，党的中央组织是最高的领导机关，就是我们讲的中央委员会、中央政治局、中央政治局常委会，这个都属于党的中央组织。那么中央组织之下是地方各级党的组织。中国的这个国家结构，在地方这一块分了省、市、县3级。这省、市、县3级的党的组织，我们都叫做党的地方组织。那么在党的地方组织之下，还有一个叫做基层组织的这么一个层次。它主要是由乡镇、由街道、由社区、由企业啊，甚至还包括这些机关里的党的 组织都叫做党的基层组织。
The party has 80 million members, and 80 million members, you can't operate as a unit. Everybody has different opinions. So it's important to understand the process by which the party decides internally every 5 years or every year at the plenary sessions, and then that is communicated, because the presupposition among many people in the West is that there is on paper a very good mechanism, but in fact the party is basically run by a very small group of people at the top who make the decisions, and everything else is so-called rubber stamp or just form, not substance. And on the other hand, I hear in recent years people are talking more about intra-party democracy. So from your perspective, to give foreigners an understanding of the change in the party, the dynamics in the party, how has party making decisions been changing from and enlarging the group of people within the party who are participating in the process of decision making?
把8600多万党员的意志能够统一起来，形成个统一的意志和行动，除了正确的理论和思想路线以外，最重要的，我们党就是有一个根本的组织制度和根本的领导制度，民主集中制。这是我们党经过多年的实践形成的一个非常有效的组织制度和领导制度。
Yu Yunyao is the former vice president of the Central Party School of the CPC Central Committee and current president of National Society for Party Building Studies. Having spent most of his life studying the Communist Party, Yu is the authoritative source for party building theory, its organizing principles, disciplines, and regulations.
民主集中制用一句话来说，就既要有民主，又要有集中。民主和集中两个方面缺一不可，要有机结合。民主集中制在执行过程当中，最重要的我理解，我们党是努力做到3条。第一条，充分发扬党内民主。我们党把党内民主是看作是党的生命，所有党内的重要问题都要经过党内的广泛的、充分的讨论，然后才形成决议。第二点，我们党是一个强调集体领导。我们各级党委实行的制度是集体领导与个人分工负责相结合的这种领导制度。所有的重大问题不能一个人说了算，所有重大问题都要在充分酝酿的基础上，在党委会上进行讨论，最后按照少数服从多数的原则进行表决。第三点，民主集中制很重要的是，我们党始终坚持4个服从，也就是个人服从组织、少数服从多数、下级服从上级、全党服从中央。这4个服从就保证了我们党能够行动统一，高度行动集中统一，行动一致。
Experts argue that the system has also proved an efficient method to select competent officials.
今天的很多西方观众可能知道习近平主席。
Professor Xie Chuntao is the director of the Party History Teaching and Research Department at the Central Party School. He's also a recipient of the National High-Level Personnel of Special Support Program on Philosophy and Social Science.
习近平主席在中国的认可程度是非常高的。习近平主席怎么才能够成为中共的总书记，成为国家主席？我们要看看他的经历。习近平从中国的村的党的支部书记，一直到中共中央的总书记、国家主席，用了40年的时间。他的职务变动，大的变动发生过16次。他工作过的地区的总人口超过了1.5亿。他是因为政绩突出，才一步一步的走到了今天的位置。他也是因为受到党内的广泛认可，才走到了这个位置。我想讲一件事儿，那是2007年中共17大的前夕，习近平是在一次重要的推荐会上成为17大的新的中央政治局委员的候选人的，说明习近平是因为他的政绩，因为他的杰出表现，赢得了党内的广泛认同，所以他才会一步一步走到中国政治的最高层，他能成为最重要的领导人。那我想这个过程肯定应该说是民主的。
The leading groups fully reflect the party's organizing principles, democratic centralism, individual deliberations, decisions by meetings, and collective policy decisions.
On November 15, 2012, Xi Jinping and other newly elected members of the Standing Committee of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee met with Chinese and foreign press.
The Standing Committee of the Political Bureau is elected by the Central Committee of the CPC, which currently has 205 members and 171 alternate members. The power of the Central Committee is endowed by the National Congress of CPC, which meets every 5 years. In addition to the current 7 members of the Standing Committee of the Political Bureau, the Central Committee also elects the General Secretary of the Central Committee and the current 25-member Full Political Bureau. The Political Bureau and its Standing Committee carry out their work via the Secretariat of the Central Committee. The Central Committee also selects members of the Central Military Commission of the CPC. The National Congress of the CPC also elects the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection of the CPC, which is tasked with enforcing internal rules and regulations of the party.
每一次党的代表大会重大问题做出决定以后，刚才你讲到了，形势和任务都会发生变化，那怎么办呢？每年我们党还要召开党的中央委员会，也就是说中央全会。中央全会要对党代表大会做的决定，以及在执行过程中遇到的一些问题，再做出决定，再做出部署。那么在党代表大会闭会期间，中央政治局就行使中央 代表大会和中央委员会赋予它的职权。所以根据代表大会和中央全会这些重大决定，具体的怎么办，都是由我们党的中央政治局和它的常委会来领导、来运作的。所以中央政治局常委会集体讨论决定，在党代表大会闭会以后和中央委员会闭会以后的一些事情，实际上只有保证了既能够不违背大会的决定，同时又能够根据变化了的形势和任务，及时的对各方面的工作做出部署。所以每次的中央全会，每次的中央政治局会议，都是我们党的政治生活中最重要的事情。全党都按照中央的要求来行动，这就是这种运作的模式。
Another key element in CPC's decision-making process is the leading groups. Such leading groups are usually led by one member from the Central Committee and serves as a platform for discussion and coordination between different departments. There are leading groups for financial and economic affairs, for rural workers, and for deepening reforms in a comprehensive way.
In the leadership of the party, leading groups or small groups are extremely important in key areas of setting policy. How do they work within the party? How do they set policy and how do they implement policy?
坤先生知道，我们中央有很多个领导小组，包括全面深化改革领导小组和财经领导小组等等各个方面的领导小组。这些领导小组保证了党的领导意志的统一，这是我们党的领导体制当中一个重要的设置。
Professor Zhu Lingjun is an expert on party building at the Party School of the Central Committee of the Communist Party. The school is a higher education institution that specializes training officials for the Communist Party.
所以研究中国共产党领导制度，一定要研究我们的领导小组。其实领导小组是中国共产党完成领导职能一个重要的制度形式。很多海外的朋友可能不太了解这一点。他们怎么工作呢？我想，领导小组的工作方式，它可能是很多政策制定最重要的源头。在领导小组，首先领导小组要在制定某个政策和决定某个政策出台之前，领导小组要进行大量的调查研究。我比较了解的是，我们党有一个党建领导小组。党建领导小组它要做出一个重大决定之前，党建领导小组会到全国各地去进行调研，了解党员还有党员干部，甚至党内的研究人员，还有党外的研究人员对某个问题的认识，大量收集信息以后，领导小组会召开会议，把这些会议收集的信息通过会议的形式，把它变成政策的模型或者政策的原型。这些政策原型一旦确立以后，还要在一定范围内征求意见。征求意见完成以后，经过若干次修改完成以后，最后再拿到相应级别的党内的重要会议上去通过表决。比方说，全党的重要的党纪党规通过党建领导小组来制定落实以后，要放到中央政治局常委会去讨论。经过常委会讨论，会议决定，集体决策以后，最后再放到有关部门去把它颁布落实。甚至有些党规党纪还要放在党的代表大会上去，让全体党的代表来投票表决通过。这个是我了解的党的领导体制当中一个最重要的环节或者元素，叫领导小组。所以领导小组它充分体现了我们共产党的组织原则，就是民主集中、个别酝酿、会议决定、集体决策这样一个民主集中制的会议决定原则。
Although China has only one ruling party candidate selected by the CPC, still gets the voters' approval in every election.
You cannot understand China without understanding the party, China's ruling party, the Communist Party of China, the CPC. We explore the inner workings of the party with its leading thinkers and organization officials. What are the party's beliefs, practices, structure, governance, development, and challenges?
最重要的挑战是如何建设好党自身。
What's behind the intense anti-corruption campaign? What are the deep implications?
权力它是个双刃剑。
Where is the party going? What are its future prospects?
各国都会根据各自的情况，最重要达到人类这个马克思当年所设想的那种美好的社会。
Explore the inner workings of the party with its leading thinkers and officials. You are watching Closer to China with me, Robert Lawrence Kuhn. President Xi Jinping says that for China to achieve its goals of building a moderately prosperous society by 2020 and a fully modernized nation by 2050, which defines the Chinese dream, the party must rule China, and the party must rule itself with discipline, dedication, and competence. Party effectiveness, Xi said, should ultimately be measured by the real benefits the people have reaped, by the improvement in their lives, and by how well their rights and interests are protected.
It's 5 a.m. in Beijing, January 1st, 2015. Before dawn, people gather in Tiananmen Square to witness the flag-raising ceremony. And most of them, the first flag-raising ceremony of the year, demonstrates their pride and emotions about the country.
我觉得我们的国家就像这冉冉升起的红旗一样。
I feel my country is rising just like the rising of this flag and the sun. It symbolizes hope and makes my heart full.
The design of the PRC national flag features 5 gold stars. 1 big star at the center and 4 smaller ones around it. The larger star symbolizes the Communist Party of China, and the 4 smaller stars symbolize different social classes. The orientation of the stars represents the unity under the leadership of the Communist Party. Some surmise that there is a certain force in the Communist Party that works like gravity, pulling people towards the center.
The party creates the vision for China. It has the overall, overarching vision of what it wants to achieve. But the organs of government are through the State Council, reporting to the National People's Congress, and then independently the judiciary. How does the party, on an operational basis, enforce its ideas or enable the organs of government and judiciary to do what the party wants? What is the actual process of making it happen?
中国共产党的执政方式和领导方式是一个很值得观察的现象。在本世纪之初，中共中央确定了这样的领导方式：党委总揽全局，协调各方。那就是每一级最重要的决策是党委做出的，比如说省这一级或者县这一级，还有中央这一级，最重要的决策都是党委来做出的。然后这些决策的实施，由在各种不同的机构担任领导的党员领导干部去实施。
Well, since the Communist Party of China is the ruling party in China, many of the policy initiatives actually come out from the Communist Party of China after extensive consultation with all walks of life.
Victor Gao Zhikai is the director of the China Association of International Studies.
But when the decisions are made, they need to be adopted by the government as government policies, and they also need to be approved by the National People's Congress. And also in China, we have this very unique establishment called the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, CPPCC, which serves as a very important advisory body which can provide opinions and recommendations or even criticisms on all the major policy initiatives by the Communist Party of China. When you look at the political rivalries between the Republicans versus the Democrats in the United States, or political rivalry between the conservatives as well as the Labour Party in the United Kingdom, you do see a lot of polarized political interests, sometimes narrowly defined national or political interests, which need to battle themselves out against each other. And eventually, for example, the party which prevails may rule the country by caring more for the more narrowly defined interests, rather than caring for the national interests as a whole. In China, it's just the opposite, because the Communist Party of China does not just represent the working class, it does not just represent the farming class, for example, it does not just represent the teachers or the doctors or the lawyers, etc. I think, in the best sense of the word, the Communist Party of China does try its best to represent interests of all walks of life in China, and eventually achieving a more balanced view of the various interest groups in China, and eventually come up with a national decision or national policy.
在1949年新中国成立的前夕，很多政党公开宣布接受了中国共产党的领导。那么至今，他们也接受中国共产党的领导。中国的这样的独特的政党制度在世界上是少见的。我在向外国政党人士介绍中国的政党制度的时候，我会特别的讲，中国的这个政党制度是历史形成的，不从历史的角度，没法理解这样的制度。中国共产党，它的执政地位虽然不是去跟别的党竞争，但是它也是定期的换届的，包括政府、包括人大、包括政协都是换届的。这个换届也是经过了广泛的选举的。当然，选举的方式在中国更多的是间接选举，因为中国地域大，人口13亿多，不可能像有些小国那样直接的选举。那么就是西方有一些大国，它也不是直接的选举。所以我认为，单纯从选举的角度，尽管中国不是多党竞争，不是两党制，但是中国共产党也是通过每一次的选举得到人民的认同的。
What is it about the CPC that has brought about China's remarkable development and enabled it to endure as the ruling party? Reasons include the CPC structure, central, local, and grassroots levels of organization, the selection and training of CPC officials, and how the CPC influences the government, the State Council, legislature, the National People's Congress, judiciary, the Supreme People's Court, and the military. If one looks at almost every aspect of real life, Chinese people today have more personal freedom than at any other time in their long history. Moreover, China's vast population is finally free from widespread famine, pestilence, homelessness, illiteracy, political mass movements, and the social scourges of other eras. But times change and new questions arise. How to involve citizens more in the process of governance and the oversight of government, like through social media and public polling? What's the relationship between the ruling party and rule of law? These books, Understanding the CPC, offer the CPC explaining the CPC, the story of the party told by the party. To know how the party thinks gets us closer to China.